Today we're going to talk about the rock cycle and different types of rocks. This first video is just about igneous rocks. But to get started, a little bit about rocks. The difference between a rock and a mineral is that minerals are more pure and rocks are mixtures of minerals. So there are several minerals together in one type of rock. Some rocks contain more than one mineral and some can have only one mineral. So each rock is a little bit different. And the minerals that are in rocks are known as rock-forming minerals. When a geologist studies rocks, they look at the composition or what the rock is made of. They can look at the color and they can also look at the texture. So let's start by talking about the first type of rock, and that is an igneous rock. Igneous rocks form when magma, which is under the ground, or lava above the ground, hardens and cools and becomes a solid. This can happen when a volcano erupts. It can happen different cracks in the Earth's crust, and it can also happen while inside the Earth, when magma is cooling inside the Earth and turning into a solid rock, and that would be considered an igneous rock. The way geologists classify igneous rocks is based on how and where they formed, so their origin. An extrusive, and you know X means out or outside of, an extrusive igneous rock means that the magma cooled above the Earth's surface. And when it does that, it's coming from inside the Earth to the outside of the Earth, and so it's cooling pretty quickly because there's a big temperature difference. So it is cooling and solidifying pretty quickly. An intrusive, and you know in meaning inside, so an intrusive igneous rock is an igneous rock that forms inside or below the Earth's surface. And that is when magma that is inside the Earth is at an area where the temperature is cooler, so it can cool underground. This usually happens over a much longer period of time than extrusive because the Earth is still insulated, so it's still warmer inside there. So it takes a little bit longer for that magma and lava to cool. So it cools slowly. Here's an example of where igneous rocks can form. So you can see here this red area, the batholith, is a big pocket of magma inside the Earth. So anywhere along the edge here or anywhere along these edges where the magma is rising to the Earth's surface, there can be intrusive igneous rocks. And then above the Earth's surface here, there's a volcano. You can see where lava is coming out of the volcano and it might spread over the land or over on the side of the volcano. So those would be considered extrusive igneous rocks once that lava cooled. Geologists also classify igneous rocks based on their texture. And a lot of times we think texture is just how something feels, but it can also have to do with how it looks. So the look and feel of the rock's surface. So we say that a rock is either fine-grained or coarse-grained. And we talked a little bit about this when we were talking about different parts of the crust. But fine-grained igneous rocks are rocks where you cannot see the individual grains. They're too small to see. And the reason they're too small to see is because these are the rocks that cool really quickly, and the crystals of the minerals do not have much time to grow and get bigger. So fine-grained igneous rocks are also extrusive igneous rocks because they cool very quickly. Coarse-grained igneous rocks, that means that you can see the individual grains or crystals of the mineral. And I gave you the example of granite in class where you can see the individual crystals in the rock. So these cool very, very slowly because the crystals and the mineral grains have much more time to form. So these are usually your intrusive igneous rocks. And here are some pictures for you. So this one up here, this is a picture of granite, and you can see the individual crystals in this piece of granite. You can see the dark pieces, the clear pieces, and kind of the light pink pieces. So this would be considered coarse-grained. This one over here, this is a very glassy looking rock. So you cannot see any of the minerals here, so this would be considered fine-grained. This one is kind of in between the other two, but it is still considered fine-grained. You cannot see the individual minerals in the rock. Another way we can also classify igneous rocks, and this, notice, is not in your textbook, but we talk about the composition or the minerals that a rock is made of. And for igneous, we have two different categories. We can put them in a felsic category, which means that they are light colored, and we have talked about this as well. So they're light colored. Usually that means they have a high silica content, which is an element. So this on the left here, this is considered a felsic igneous rock, or mafic, which is dark colored and it has a lower silica content. And this one right here is a mafic igneous rock. So we're going to stop there, and I'm going to show you a very brief clip of a brain pop about igneous rocks.
Dear Tim and Moby, what are the different types of rocks? From Sandy. Rocks are split into three basic types: igneous, metamorphic, and sedimentary. Magma is molten material from deep inside the earth that comes to the surface through volcanoes. You may know it as lava. That's what it's called when it's above ground. Igneous rocks form when this molten material cools. Not all of the magma makes it out of the volcano. The rocks that form when trapped magma cools are called intrusive igneous rocks. See those big crystals? Trapped magma takes longer to cool than magma that reaches the surface. This gives the atoms time to arrange into big crystals called mineral grains. Extrusive igneous rocks form from the lava that flows out of volcanoes or from magma found very near the Earth's surface. Lava cools pretty quickly when it gets near the Earth's surface, so extrusive rocks have much smaller mineral grains than intrusive rocks. What? Sure is hot down here. Hey, that's a metamorphic rock. The rocks below the Earth's surface are under a lot of